The Trump regime's anti DEI push has left our institutions filled with incompetency, and their latest scandal proves it. Welcome to the Danielle Moodie Show, dear friends. Let's get into it. It's almost as if we could have predicted that just a few months into his job, Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of Defense, would have a major fuck up. Because who's better to serve our nation and our national security than a weekend Fox host rather than, let's say, a four-star general? But before we dive in, dear friends, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel. We are almost at 25,000 subscribers, and I would love for you to be a part of Damnation and helping us grow. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Ooh, and share. All right, let's get back to Whiskey-gate, shall we? Oh, God. It did not take long, okay? It did not take long or hard work to dig into what was going to be a series of red flags that we would see about Pete Hegseth. I mean, look, Pete Hegseth's dangerous war on America. He'd spent much of his career, if you can call it that, bad mouthing our military and talking smack about diversity, equity, and inclusion. He's made it his career to go on, a right wing junkets to go and talk about it. And, folks, you would think that our future leader of our military would do what past military leaders have done, which is seek to build camaraderie, build morale, and strengthen our military. But no, that's not what Pete Hegseth has been doing. According to Hegseth, wokeness is our problem. It's not, seeking to ensure our safety from foreign enemies. No, Pete Hegseth has always been targeted, focused on the enemy from within. Every newly minted Secretary of Defense of the past 75 or so years has entered office with one overarching goal: to prepare U.S. forces to overpower the nation's foreign enemies if the need arose. But not Pete Hegseth. For our newest secretary, the enemy to be overcome resides not outside the United States, but within. The quote, Marxists in government, the media, and the civil society who, he claims, have instilled, quote, wokeism in the U.S. military, that is, a commitment to racial and gender diversity, and thereby undermined its war-making capacity. Now in office, following a narrow 51-50 vote in the Senate, his top priorities will be to purge the officer class of anyone tainted by that, quote, woke shit, as he terms it, and drive women, Blacks, LGBTQ folks out of positions of authority or out of the military altogether. You see, according to him, right, white men are the only ones that are capable of leading. Hegseth even had the audacity to talk smack about former Joint Chief C.Q. Brown Jr. and General Austin, a four-star general and the former defense secretary under Biden, and say that they didn't earn their positions. You know, they just got them because they were Black and woke. Take a listen.
And obviously going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke shit has got to go. Either you're in for war fighting, and that's it. And that's the only litmus test we care about. You got to get DEI and CRT out of military academies, so you're not training young officers to be baptized in this type of thinking.
To be baptized in this type of thinking. Now, following Whiskey-gate or Signal-gate, pick your poison, because both of them are funny as hell. All I keep thinking about is Pete Hegseth's anti-DEI stance. And I want you to take a look at what scholar and creator of the 1619 Project, Nicole Hannah-Jones, had to say about it. She wrote this on Blue Sky. All I keep thinking about is how Pete Hegseth raised questions of the competency of a Black four-star general and Air Force fighter pilot who was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Hegseth asked, did he get the job, quote, because of his skin color or his skill? We'll never know, but always doubt. We'll never know, but we'll always doubt. Well, here's one thing I don't doubt at all, that Pete Hegseth got his job because of his skin color and also because of what? The bullshit that he would spew on Weekend at Fox? I mean, friends, the thing about this moment, this Whiskey-gate and Signal-gate, is that we get to see front and center what white male incompetence looks like when they don't have anybody to blame. I mean, the audacity that Pete Hegseth would talk about meritocracy, right? And this idea that anybody who is Black, who is brown, who is a woman, who is queer, are only in those positions because of their identities. Well, now, without those people to blame for said fuck ups, we can see all of their mess out in the open. And I posted about it on Blue Sky. It's really fascinating what happens when you remove diversity. White male incompetency is placed on full display and no one to blame for their actions. So they just lie. The fact is this. You know, while everybody is talking about Signal-gate and our national security, which is incredibly important, I think what's also important to understand is that who was in that Signal chat group? Aside from Tulsi Gabbard, who has done a remarkable job of doing a cover your ass turnabout on her second day of testifying before the Senate about this extraordinary catastrophe of a national security breach, it was all white men. All white men who were playing G.I. Joe with their fist pump and flag and fire emojis, while they are potentially, as it would turn out, inadvertently committing a war crime. It is wild where we find ourselves right now. This is one of the biggest security breaches we have ever seen. And although they try to deny, and deflect, what we could all see in that text chain, thank you, Jeff Goldberg, for bringing the receipts after they said that you were lying, is that they did, in fact, potentially articulate for the world to see that a war crime was committed. You see, Democrat leaked messages show Waltz admitting to war crime in Yemen strike. And folks, why is that? Because they said that one of the targets who the military had in their sights was entering his girlfriend's building. Well, guess his girlfriend is a civilian. And what we know now after those strikes is that 14 civilians were killed. And they knew about it before the bombs dropped. That is extraordinary. And while we're all worried about what else is happening on Signal and what else has been said, what we do know is that Jeff Goldberg's receipts right now show us that an investigation is absolutely necessary. And this is a much bigger scandal than, let's say, oh, I don't know, Hillary Clinton's private email server. That is it for me today, dear friends, on the Danielle Moodie Show. As always, power to the people and to all the people power. Get woke, stay sane, and in these extraordinarily dangerous times, dear friends, do stay safe.